This video focuses on 3 examples where we solve logarithmic equations using a variety of algebraic techniques. Once we find the value of x in each of these examples, I'll show you how to check for validity. In the very first example, we have log, and within the parentheses, x to the power of 2 plus 2 is equal to 2. Now to gain access to the part within the brackets, we need to somehow get rid of the log. Notice that this log does not have a base written as a subscript. That means we're dealing with a common log. So it's like saying log of base 10. Because it's a common log, we can cancel out the log part if we raise both sides of the equation as exponents to the base 10. Let me show you what I mean. So we have a base 10 on both sides, and what this will do is it will cancel out the log, leaving us with x squared plus 2 is equal to 10 to the power of 2. We know 10 to the power of 2 is 100. Now, just so that you know, this technique works for all types of logs. So if the base were a 2, a 3, or whatever you can think of, you simply raise both sides of the equation as exponents to that base. Let's continue answering this. We need to solve for x squared. So I'll move this constant of positive 2 to the other side. We get 100, take away 2, and that amounts to 98. Let me go ahead and update the equation. We then take the square root of both sides. That will cancel out the exponent of 2. So we have the square root of 98. Now remember, the square root of 98 will give us both a plus and a minus output. We need to make sure if both of those will satisfy the equation. Because remember, with logs, the argument part, which is what's within the brackets, must be greater than 0. So we'll begin by testing the positive version of the square root of 98. Substituting the positive version into x squared plus 2, we get the following. We end up with 98 plus 2, which is 100. Now, because that's greater than 0, then the positive version works. Let's also try the negative version. So if we try the negative version, we'll end up with negative 98 plus 2, and that's equal to negative 96. Therefore, only the positive version will work. Therefore, x is equal to positive the square root of 98. In example number 2, we have 3 terms now, so we can't right away raise both sides as exponents to the base 10. We do need to use the properties of logs to combine these two terms together. The very first log property that I'll apply is writing this term so that this leading coefficient of 3 acts as an exponent to x. So we write down log x to the power of 3. And I'll apply the same idea here where that becomes the exponent 2. So minus log 2x to the power of 2. And I'll do the same thing on the right side, which is log 5 to the power of 2, which simply becomes 25. Another property of log that I'll apply to the left side is the one involving subtraction. So we have a difference of 2 logs of the same base. We can write this as a quotient such that we have log, and we'll write down x to the power of 3 at the top, and 2x to the power of 2, which happens to be 4x squared at the bottom, and we'll leave this as log 25. You'll notice now that we have a term on the left side and a term on the right side. We can apply the same technique as we did in question number 1 by raising both sides as exponents to the base 10. And that will cancel out the logs, you see? Leaving us with x cubed over 4x squared is equal to 25. Next, I'll multiply both sides of the equation by 4x squared. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that we don't have a denominator or a fraction on the left side. So let's simplify this. That cancels out. And this leaves us with x cubed is equal to 100x squared. All we have to apply now here are algebraic techniques to solve for x. I'll move this term over. That way I can common factor next. This leaves us with 0 on the right side. I'll common factor x squared from both terms. That leaves us with x minus 100. And we can now go ahead and solve for x. So I'll start by looking at this factor first. X squared is equal to 0. This means that x must equal to 0. If we take the square root of both sides, we'll check for validity in a moment. Similarly, we'll set x minus 100 equal to 0. And if we solve, we end up with x is equal to 100. So let's check if 0 and 100 will work. Now, if I substitute 0 into here, we won't get an output. Take a look. Log of 0 gives us an error. So 0 cannot work. And if I substitute 0 into here, same story. So 0 is not a valid entry, not a valid solution. However, 100 will work. Substituting 100 into both of those expressions will give us an output. So our answer is x is equal to 100. And finally, for question number 3, we can start by rearranging this so that the constant is on this side and the log terms on the other side. So both the log terms are on one side exclusively. Let me show you what I mean. And the constant is positive 1 on the right side. Applying the logarithmic property involving subtraction, we end up getting log of 5x plus 2 as the numerator and 2x minus 1 as the denominator. And that's equal to 1. I'll raise both sides of the equation, again, using the same approach as before, as exponents to the base 10. 10 to the power of 1 is 10, and those cancel out. And now we have to solve for x. We start by multiplying both sides by the denominator, much the same way as we did in question 2. So we get 5x plus 2 is equal to 10 times 2x minus 1. And we'll solve for x. It looks like we have a linear equation on our hands. So multiplying this 10, we're expanding, bringing the x's to the left side, and the constants to the right side. We get negative 15x is equal to negative 12, and x is equal to negative 12 over 15, negative 15 that is, and that leads us to 4 over 5, or 0.8. Now, it looks that if we substitute 0 point into there, multiply by 5 and add 2, we will end up with a number greater than 0. And if we substitute 0.8 into there, 2 times 0.8, subtract 1, we also get a number greater than 0. And so, this is our answer. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below.